Omar Mabson set to be running back 2 for the Auburn Tigers. And Dallas Walker the fourth. We discuss him today as a major piece potentially on the defensive interior for the Tigers this year. All right, what's going on, everybody, man? Welcome back, my Auburn fans. Appreciate you guys running up the last video, man, talking about Eric Winters, man. But today we're going to be talking about Omar Mabson. Before we get into it, like, comment, subscribe, hype up this video, and share it and tell a friend. All right, man, we're trying to grow this audience and grow this thing big, man. Love y'all. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. So talking Omar Mabson, shout out to obviously Justin Smith, touchdown Auburn. This is where I'm getting all my information. I know they're new. But I think they do great work, man, to keep you updated, keep you in tune. Jason Caldwell's another one for 247, man, but they do a great job of keeping you updated. So Omar Mabson, we want to talk about this earlier in the week, but you guys are seeing here just his ability. He's already getting the reps early on with Auburn, right here, drinking a little bit of the water. But what I liked is that he was getting the reps of running back 2, right? And we know who running back 1 is going to be. It's going to be Jeremiah Cobb. So we got to see outside of him, who else is going to be able to step up for this Auburn Tigers group, right? Is it him? Is it Alvin Henderson, right? Who's going to be next in line? I feel like Mabson is a guy that got some reps last year that's going to be ready and poised and good to go when this season comes, right? And here's what was said. No days off for him. He says, think what Omar brings is a presence to this team because he comes to work every single day. There's no days off. There's no plays off. So that tells me this is a guy, whatever rep I'm getting, I'm going hard, 110%. And I'm going to give him my all every single rep that I am for this team, however much I can do. And that is something that you want to see because this team, as we already see, is going to be predicated on running the football, right? They're going to want to run the ball and then allow that to establish play action with Byron Brown and be able to hit those receivers on the outside. So you're going to have Omar Mabson, Cobb, right, Henderson, and all those boys in the backfield to be able to contribute at a very high level. And I don't think they're going to miss too much of a beat, man. And if he has that explosiveness that we know that he could potentially have and potentially show, I think Auburn could be very dangerous offensively this year because we know, despite them losing some players like Jalen Crawford and several guys, we know this defense is going to be pretty good for the Auburn Tigers this upcoming year. But now the offense has to match. Now the offense has to be able to do the things that it needs to do in order for this team to take a step forward. And I told y'all, Auburn is one of my sleepers in the SEC. Them in Florida, I think, have a potential chance to make some noise this upcoming year in the SEC. So don't sleep on the Tigers, and what Alex Golesh is doing. He wants to run the ball. He wants to establish tempo. And what that tells me is he wants to be able to control the game, right? The set, I think they play 12 minutes, 48 minutes. You know what I'm saying? He wants to control that for his team all season long. If it ain't 48, y'all know what I mean, 60 minutes, whatever. He wants to control that. That's what I'm getting at. Alex Golesh wants to control that from top to bottom every single game against these teams. And when you have running backs that can do that, it makes it that much easier. Got to control the line of scrimmage, of course, first. But if you got running backs like Omar Mabson that can get that done, I think that makes a big difference, man. He's going to be one to watch him for this upcoming season for the Tigers. All right, now let's go ahead and get a little bit into an article today came out from my guy, Jason Caldwell. I got a chance to meet him way back in Alabama, obviously doing the Hoover 7-on-7. Okay, so today he referenced Dallas Walker the fourth, right? And basically, he was a guy that didn't have the best season last year, right? When we look at Dallas Walker the fourth, he was a guy that, it wasn't his best year, right? His career year was in 2024. He had 50 tackles, right? He had 21 solos. He had an interception in there, you know what I'm saying? And he had a forced fumble. Last year, only 13 tackles and a forced fumble. So we want more production from him in the defensive interior. And it's going to be very interesting because when we look at Auburn, right, this defensive line, we know Malik Archery is going to be a guy for them, right, this year. Okay, we know Malik Archery is going to be much better, for them moving forward. But outside of him, is it Cody Sigler? Is it Deshaun Womack? Like, we're going to need other guys to be able to step up this year. And Dallas Walker is going to be one of them. We don't need him to have all the stats. But remember, he provides that veteran leadership, that veteran presence, that experience, and he's a guy that can rotate in and be able to have that established ground attack, right? And now he's come down, right? When we look at what Caldwell talked about, in the quote, he's come down about 30 pounds, right? Now, see, last year he was 345. Says he lost about 30 pounds, but there's still a lot of reps for a 330-pound dude. And it's been so fun to see his maturation and see how he's helping those young guys grow, right? Massive, because you got a very young group, behind him, and him being a veteran, him maturing. That's going to show other guys, hey, I can do the same. Hey, I can also be just like that, or what he's being able to do and what he's being able to produce, right? That is massive, because when you look at Auburn, this is a team that wants to change the direction and trajectory of this program. This is a team that wants to be much better. This is a team that wants to do better, right? They don't want to be what they were last year, right? I've seen a Auburn fan posted, and it was like, wow, I'm glad we got rid of Hugh Freeze. Quarterback they used to have was obviously Peyton Falzon. He's a tight end now at his new school at Penn State, I believe it is. You know what I'm saying? Or it might be BYU, wherever it is. And I bring it up to say they don't want to go back to that. Auburn doesn't want to go back to that. Auburn wants to come into a new regime, a new era, right? Excuse me, and be a new team this upcoming year. And in order for you to do that, you got to be much better. You got to play better, right? And I think that starts with the defensive line and playing that at a very high level. And that starts with Dallas Walker IV. I think Malik Archer is going to give you what you need, but you need this guy right here to have a better season. And it don't have to be crazy. 13 tackles last year. If he can have 20, 25 tackles this year, right? Couple forced fumbles in there. You know what I'm saying? More TFLs. That's it. Because you got to think Dallas Walker IV is going to be your run stopper, right? When you're going up against these teams like the Alabamas and the Iron Bowl, right? When you're going up against some of these tough teams this upcoming year that likes to run the ball and establish that, right? You're going to have guys that can be able to stuff that run. And I love that he took care of his body. He slimmed down, right? And now he's going to be able to move even faster and have a quicker first step. That is going to be massive for Auburn moving forward. So I think it's great news. I think it's good to see the mentality shift is changing, to see how they're approaching day to day. Yeah, they're going to be slept on a little bit, but I think they got the right coach in place, man, to make some noise, right? Auburn's went the route already of hiring the big hire, but sometimes you gotta get the coach that's a little more hungry, right? And I ain't saying the coach they hired weren't hungry, but I'm saying this one right here, he's going to do everything in his power to, because not his rep is on the line, but he wants to be able to show, hey, I can do a big man job. Right, I'm coming from USF. I can show that I can do this. Right, I can pull off major victories and wins. I can get this Auburn team back to relevance and prominence in college football, and I think he's going to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? But having these two guys could be massive going forward. Right, like might not be starters. Right, might not be those pieces you look at, but the depth of the team, being able not to miss a beat when those starters come out, being able not to miss a beat when you got to go to your rotational guys. That's massive for Auburn. So if he continues to do what he's doing and continues to get better, look out, man. This could be a big-time year for Dallas Walker IV and the Auburn defensive line. But that's going to do it for today's show, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. That's a quick little Auburn dish. You guys have been asking for more Auburn content, so I'm going to try to keep you guys loaded and keep the content that you guys want to see. I will still continue to cover the other teams on the channel, but I'm going to be obviously focusing more on the teams that y'all want to see. So please engage in the comments and let me know teams you want me to cover more on the channel, or you want me to talk about more, or national news and all that good stuff. But much love as always. Appreciate you guys. War Eagle, Auburn fans, and I will see you guys in the next video. And remember, as always, peace and love.